Pokemon Emerald, a Pokemon game that I'm pretty sure every Pokemon fan has played at least once, and I don't really know anyone who doesn't like Pokemon Emerald, and it's also a part of Gen 3, a gen that I'm sure pretty much every Pokemon fan has played, and I don't know anybody that doesn't really like Gen 3. And I'm pretty sure almost every Pokemon fan in their mid-20s started with Gen 3. Now, Pokemon Emerald is a fun game, but it's fairly easy. I can give it that. So why don't we up the ante? Why don't we make Pokemon Emerald the hardest Pokemon game you will ever play? And let's make it 1,000 times harder. Now, I could up the level cap by maybe 25 to up to 100%, but that's boring. So, let me introduce you to Pokemon Emerald Kaizo. Obviously, it's a ROM hack of Pokemon Emerald. Now, Emerald Kaizo makes Emerald incredibly difficult. Every trainer you will come across has Pokemon that seem weak, but they have the most amazing movesets and items that you would never expect them to have. The first fucking Zigzagoon has a berry juice and Swift, so yeah, and that's the first battle in the game with a level 2 Zigzagoon, and you're almost probably going to lose that, but you will most likely win. Now, enough of my babbling. Let's see if you can beat Pokemon Emerald when it's 1,000 times harder. So, the rules for this are that I'm going to be doing a Nuzlocke, and if you don't know the rules for a Nuzlocke, you can only catch the first Pokemon in every new route, you have to nickname every Pokemon, and most importantly, if a Pokemon faints, it's considered dead and you can no longer use it. Now, when I first started playing this, I went in blind, so let's just see how far I got. So, I started the game, and I'm introduced to the Pokemon world by Professor Birch. I name my character and do all the basic tutorial bullshit that, you have to do before every Pokemon game. Now, let's skip to where I choose my starter. Now, the starter I choose is Mudkip, and I go on to fight the first battle, which is against a level 2 Zigzagoon. And let me tell you, this battle is insane. I use a tackle, and the first move it uses is Sand Attack, but luckily I don't miss, and I use another tackle, and it lands in the red. But this fucking level 2 Zigzagoon has a berry juice, and it uses it to get back to full health. And then it starts spamming Swift on a level 2 Zigzagoon. What the fuck? That's crazy. But luckily I beat it, and I say Professor Bitch or Professor Birch. I go back to his lab, accept Mudkip as my Pokemon, and I name my Mudkip Vub. I don't know why I name all my water type Pokemon that. I do some quick grinding in the routes before May, and I get up to level 7. Now, in the first route, I noticed that there are some pretty cool encounters. There are Sentret, and in the first route after your hometown, there's a rare chance you can find Togepi. Now, in the route above that, right before May, you can find even more cool Pokemon like Pikachu. Now, I battled these weak wild Pokemon and got up to level 7, and then I battled May for the first time. It's pretty much a normal rival battle like from any Pokemon Emerald run you'd expect, so it's nothing special. I beat her, and I go back to the lab. I talk to Professor Birch once again, and then I get my Pokedex and my Pokeballs. And now the Nuzlocke has begun. I get the running shoes from my mom, and then I go run off into Route 101 and encounter my first Pokemon, which is a level 3 Poochyena. It could be better, but I catch it and I name her Sabrina. For my next encounter, I go up to Route 103, and then I encounter a level 4 Sunkern. I thought this was going to be complete ass, and at the time I was really upset. But it turns out the Sunkern was ridiculously overpowered. In the process of catching it, I almost lost my starter against a Sunkern, a level 4. That's telling you this game ain't gonna be nice to me. I catch it, and I then name it Samuel. Even though it's a girl, I don't really know what I was thinking at the time. I then moved on to Route 102 and encountered a level 7 Spinarak. Now this spin rack, oh my god. I sent out my mudkip, and this fucking motherfucker used Toxic, a level 7 spin rack, and I almost lost my starter, so I sent in my Sunkern. And sadly, I lost Sunkern. I mean, it's a Sunkern, so I didn't really care, but it could have been good. And I didn't even catch the spin rack, and when I went to put Sunkern in the death box, I figured out that it was holding a Sunstone, which it uses to evolve into a Sunflora. So I could have had a level 4 Sunflora, which could have been really, really good. After this, I trained up my Poochyena and my Mudkip to about level 10, and then I made my way through the trainers of Route 102. They had some pretty decent Pokemon, but luckily I didn't lose my Mudkip or my Poochyena. After I beat all the trainers in Route 102, and I then go into Petalburg City and talk to my dad, who you all know is the gym leader, and I go to help Wally and do all that bullshit because Wally's a little bitch. Now, after I help Wally catch his first Pokemon, I go back to the gym and talk to my dad, and he tells me to go take on the first gym in Rustboro. After I finish talking to my dad, I was walking through Petalburg City when I noticed a patch of grass in the city, and I realized that this could give me another encounter, so I ran through the grass for a bit until I came across a Marill. I caught the Marill and I named it Nano, and then I moved on to the next route. But before I do that, let me tell you, this Marill is pretty damn strong. It has Ice Punch, so yeah. Pretty much every Pokemon in this game has some type of move to deal with Pokemon that are weak against, like Marill has Ice Punch to deal with grass types. I then move on to Route 104, and in the grass I encounter a Cubone. And I'm pretty excited about this because my team is pretty stacked against Roxanne, who uses rock types. I catch the Cubone and I name it Roland, even though it's a girl. I don't know what I was thinking when I named all of these Pokemon. I grind up all my Pokemon till about level 14, and then I battle all the trainers on Route 104. I then make my way into Petalburg Forest, and in the forest I encounter a Pineco. I realize that I need to catch this fast, because this motherfucker might have self-destruct. I catch it, and I give it a name according to Pineco, New. Now, in the forest I battled a bug catcher. Let me tell you, this bug catcher was no joke. During the battle, my Pokemon were severely weakened, and when he brought out his Nincada, I brought out my Sabrina, or rather my Poochyena, and sadly, Poochyena went down. Now, after this battle, I realized that I needed to train even more, and I got all my surviving Pokemon up to level 16, and Mudkip evolved into Marshtomp. But that's when I realized something, that there's also a patch of grass back in Oakdale Town. So I went back to Oakdale Town, and I ran into a Growlithe. I was pretty excited about this, to say the least, because my team was really weak to grass type, but the motherfucker used Roar immediately, so I couldn't catch it. Now, after this, I went back into Petalburg Forest, and I battled the Team Magma Grunt. And this dude had 5 Pokemon. His team was stacked. He had a Magnemite, a Coughing, a Houndour, a Bagon, and a Duskull. And I almost lost to him, even though his Pokemon were about level 8 to 9. And that's telling you how strong this dude's Pokemon were. And I'm pretty sure each of them had a held item, and each of them had priority moves. Especially that fucking Duskull, Shadow Sneak, oh my god. But luckily I beat him without losing any of my team members, and I beat the rest of the trainers in Petalburg Forest and the trainers outside of Petalburg Forest. Until I get jumped by Red as soon as I was about to go into Rustboro City. Yeah, you heard me right, I got jumped by Red. I didn't expect this at all, and luckily my team was fully healed. When I first saw the sprite for Red, I had to look again for a second. I was like, no way did the creator of this ROM hack put fucking Red right before the first gym. When I first saw the sprite, I was a little dumbfounded, but I moved up a tile and I battled Red. This battle was insane, oh my god. In the battle, I lost my Marill against his Bulbasaur. I was asleep and I couldn't do anything, and he just spammed Mega Drain. This battle was... I almost lost this fucking battle. Alright, so his team, he had an Eevee, all 3 Kanto starters, and a Pikachu. And his Pikachu had Surf. Fucking Surf. What the hell? But somehow I managed to beat him, but in the process I lost Meryl, and now I'm only stuck with 2 Pokemon against the gym leader who's going to have 6. But anyways, I go into Rustboro City, heal up, explore for a bit, but then I move on to Route 116 to get my next encounter, which is a Yanma, and once I catch it, I name it Forager. But as I was walking back to the Pokemon Center after I caught Yanma, I saw another patch of grass in Rustboro City, and as I went to it, I encountered a Cacnea, and I caught it, and I named it Ninjor. At the time, I was remembering an episode of Power Rangers that I watched when I was like 5, and I remember there was a character named Ninjor, so I just named it Ninjor. I grinded up a little bit, and then I went down to battle a trainer, but during the battle, I lost Ninjor. The first battle it was in right after I caught it. Damn it. After I battled some trainers and got a couple more levels, I then ran into this bug maniac. This motherfucker. This motherfucker right here. I lost the Nuzlocke to this motherfucker. He had a Dustox, a Beautyfly, and a Butterfree, but he had 4 Pokemon, and the last one was Beedrill, but I didn't see that. This motherfucker ended the Nuzlocke for me. He somehow defeated all of my Pokemon with retarded moves that a fucking Dustox, Beautyfly, and Butterfree should not have. I didn't want to end the lock right here, so I went with the only Pokemon I had left. Pineco. I thought I was going to have to beat that dude with only a Pineco. But then I remembered that you can get the Old Rod in this game earlier, so I got the Old Rod, and I went back to Little Root Town and I fished up a Goldeen. And then I went up north of Rustboro and I fished up an Ammonite. And with these 2, I trained my ass off. I grinded for so fucking long. I trained up until Ammonite was level 18 and Goldeen at level 20, which at level 20 it evolved into a Seaking. And I also trained up Pineco a little bit, but for now I was just going to use these 2 as Pineco was complete and utter garbage. And with these 2 now this strong, I went to challenge the motherfucker that killed my team earlier. Luckily I beat him, but I still almost lost. But then I moved on to the cave, and in the cave I caught a Nosepass. I trained up Nosepass a little bit, and also Lord Helix and Nomu, which I named Ammonite and Seaking up a little bit, and then I went to challenge the first gym. Now, the gym trainers before Roxanne were insane. Oh my god. They had incredible teams. One of them had a Larvitar. But sadly, when I came across a Cacnea, it swept through my Lord Helix and Nomu, which was my Ammonite and my Seaking. But luckily, Nosepass pulled through and managed to beat the trainer. This wasn't the gym leader, this was the trainer. And now, I was just stuck with a Nosepass and a Pineco against a rock-type gym that was so much stronger than in the normal games. Now, when I tell you I grinded, I mean it. I fucking grinded until Nosepass was level 30, and Pineco evolved into Fortress at level 31. And now I could take on the gym and sweep through her team, which just felt so good, because this game was just being relentless. Now, the first Pokemon Roxanne brought out was her Nosepass, which I easily took out with Fortress's Drill Run. The next Pokemon she sent out was Shuckle. It tried to stall me out, but I was too strong, so after a couple Drill Runs and Signal Beam, Shuckle went down as well. After Shuckle, the next Pokemon she sent out was Lilith. I still stayed in with Fortress, and I went for a Drill Run. And luckily I got a critical hit, so I one-shotted it, taking it down. Her fourth Pokemon that she sent out was Anorith, and for this I switched out in the Nosepass, and I used Earthquake, and then I finished it off with the Seismic Toss. Her fifth Pokemon that she sent out was Relicanth, but I switched back into Fortress, and with a couple more Drill Runs I took it out. And then the last and final Pokemon she sent out was her Lunatone, which I easily one-shotted with a Signal Beam. And with that, I got my first gym badge, beating Roxanne. I could tell that if I didn't grind, I would have been annihilated. Her team was ridiculously strong. They were all about level 14 to 15 and definitely had some strong moves and some pretty good held items too. After I beat Roxanne, I went to help Mr. Briny get back his Pico in the cave, and I battled the Team Aqua Girl. Her team was pretty decent, but I easily took her out. After this, I reunited Mr. Briny with Pico, and then went to talk to Mr. Stone, and he gave me the letter to go give to Steven Stone. And then I made my way to Dewford. As I was leaving Rustboro, I battled May. She had a full team of 6, her Pokemon were pretty good, but I was too overleveled and I easily swept through her entire team. I then went into Granite Cave and caught an Aeron, which I named Voltron. Oh, and for those of you wondering, I named my Nosepass Woo. After this, I did some fishing and I caught a Spheal, which I named Globe. I did some more fishing and then I caught a seal who I named Joel. I then ran into some grass in Dewford, but I failed to catch the encounter. After this, I go to take on the gym, but sadly as I was battling one of the gym trainers, Voltron, my Aeron, died during the battle. I didn't battle Broly just yet, and I wanted to deliver the letter to Steven Stone first, so I went back into Granite Cave, and that's when I found out something that I hate to this day. Instead of the normal Granite Cave, it's changed into an ice cavern. That's a puzzle. I fucking despise these. I spent so much time trying to figure out which way to go. But after a long while, I finally make it through, and I deliver the letter to Steven Stone, but then I go back to Mr. Stone and I get the experience share. Okay, so as I was editing this, I realized that I did battle Broly, and I did battle him before I delivered the letter to Steven Stone. So, yeah. But, I easily destroyed Broly, and I took out each and every one of his fighting type Pokemon. Fairly easily. He also had a full team of 6, and those Pokemon were Hitmontop, Hitmonlee, Hitmonchan, Meditite, Poliwrath, and Hariyama. But again, my team is very overleveled, and I easily took him out. Now after that, like I just said, I delivered the letter to Steven Stone at the experience share, and then I went to Slateport and battled all the trainers on the beach. Now, after I beat all or most of the trainers on the beach, I went to Slateport, delivered the Devon parts, saved the scientist guy from the 2 Team Aqua Grunts, met Archie, got a couple more encounters from fishing, I got another encounter from the grass, but the route before May, I failed to catch a Pidgeotto. So, my third battle with May, it was pretty easy. She had a full team of 6 again, but I easily swept through her entire team. After I beat May and some more trainers, I finally got to Mauville City. I battled the trainers that are to the right and to the left of Mauville, caught some more Pokemon. I caught an Oddish, which I then evolved into a Gloom, and then into a Blossom, and I named it Leafy. While this was going on, I tried to help a guy find his glasses, but for the life of me, I could not help him find them, even though the item finder said it was right near me. Now, after I battled a lot of trainers, I went into the gym and took on some of the gym trainers. Now, let me tell you, these gym trainers, oh my god. Against one of them, I lost my Blossom, and then I lost again. My whole team got swept. And you wanna know what my team got swept against? A fucking Quillfish in an electric type gym. What the hell? I thought I would have the advantage since I had a Nosepass and a Fortress, but I guess not. And at this point, I was just done with this game. I did have Pokemon in the box, and technically I could continue if you wanted to put it that way, but at this point, like I just said, I was done with this game. I was fuming with rage, and I just couldn't play anymore, so I just ended the lock right here. I mean, I did lose twice. My whole team got swept twice, so that does look pretty bad on my part. The game only gets harder from here. Alright, so if you want to go try this, then be my guest. If you want to torture yourself, then be my guest. Let me tell you, just know what you're doing before you go into some of these battles, because some of these trainers' Pokemon are fucking incredibly powerful. Now, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Also, go subscribe to my other channels. Links to those will be down in the description below. Also, go follow me on Twitter and Instagram. The links to those will be down in the description as well. Now, if you want me to do more of these Can You Beat videos, just let me know down in the comments below. At first, this game was fun, until my main Pokemon died, and all I did was grind for fucking ever. Oh, and I also forgot to mention that you literally can't heal in this game. Or rather, you can't heal in battle in this game, so it just makes it even harder. But anyways, I hope you all enjoy yourselves, and I will catch you all in the next one. Peace.